Welcome to the Pantheon Parenthetical. My name is Lance Ash, and this episode is entitled, I Play the Guitar. Indeed, I have been playing the guitar for almost 33 years now. I started when I was 16, motivated primarily out of jealousy of another kid at school who started bringing his guitar to school and got a lot of attention because of that. And it irked me that he was getting attention. So I had my first real job, bagging groceries at Kroger. And I saved up my money and I bought the same model guitar he had, which was a Yamaha acoustic. Can't remember the exact model number. I later smashed this guitar in a drunken fury many years later. The other motivation for getting the guitar was that after many years of listening to nothing but orchestral music, which some people call classical music, I started listening to rock and roll. I had previously refused to listen to rock and roll out of misguided religious impulses and a deep-seated fear and hatred of teenagers and related popular culture. After about a month of fooling around with the guitar, there came a day when I realized I hadn't touched it in a couple of days. So that kind of irritated me, and I thought, are you just going to let this, go nowhere like so many other things you've done in your life? So I signed up for guitar lessons, not thinking I'd really learn anything, but mainly to force myself to be motivated. And I signed up for guitar lessons at the same store where I bought the guitar, and the end result of that was the lifelong habit of planting the tip of my little finger on the pick guard while I strum, a habit which I have not been able to break since. Primarily, I learned the basics from the same guy who used to bring his guitar to school. He moved away, but we still corresponded, and he would send me letters with jazz chords written out and the blues scale drawn out, and that's basically how I learned to play. I can play fairly well, as far as if you're going to make that judgment by guitar solos. I like to think that I sound like a clumsy version of Andy Summers. My favorite guitar players, or I hate to use the word inspirations, but that's kind of the right word. Jimmy Page, Tony Iommi, Frank Zappa, Andy Summers. And now it's time to visit the tiny community of Fig Pitch. A handful of structures and dwellings clustered about the meeting point of three roads. Fig Pitch is to be found somewhere between the cover of a Windham Hill album and a Holly Hobbie lunchbox. Hidden among the illustrations in the books of your childhood, a backwater bypassed by all that has grown up between you and the puppet at the end of your arm. Today we look in on Old Tusk, who runs the store in Fig Pitch. I can't find my pen, complains Old Tusk, looking around for said instrument. The stranger on the other side of the counter, who has asked Old Tusk to write down the directions to the nearby and competing hamlet of Tannen, points at a can of writing utensils on the counter near Old Tusk's gossamer furred elbow. What about one of those? He asks. Oh no, says Old Tusk. I use certain pens and pencils for certain tasks. And besides which, I don't like to start using another pen until I've used the first one up. As he continues to look around for the missing pen, the stranger also looks around at the interior of the store. He spies a dusty, cracked leather horse collar, an old washboard, and a couple of denim overalls, flat and stiff with factory starch. He imagines a time when one of these would be the only garments of one of the locals. As the stranger continues to wait, two of the local boys, Bob and Jack, look through the screen door at the stranger. Jack surmises, "He looks like a spy, doesn't he?" Bob replies, "He looks like a French existentialist." "How would you know what a French existentialist looks like?" asks the other boy. Well, that's all for now. Thank you for listening.